Okay, on this video I want us to talk about what are called vertically opposite angles. And what I want you to do to start that is I want you to actually draw two straight lines. And the lines need to intersect. It doesn't matter how you draw them, as long as you draw a straight line and then another straight line. And at some point, the straight lines have to intersect. And so what we actually see is that they form four angles. Okay, anytime two lines intersect, they'll form four angles. And what I want you to do is label those A, B, C, and D. It doesn't matter where you put A, but label one of yours A, and then go clockwise and go B, C, D. And so we have the four angles labeled. Now, in our previous video, we talked about adjacent angles, and we could have pointed out that angle A is adjacent to angle B. Angle A is also adjacent to angle D. And by the way, B not only is adjacent to A, but it's also adjacent to C. C is adjacent to B and to D. And then we've talked about, we already said that D is adjacent to A and to C. But what about the angles on here that aren't adjacent? What about the ones that are on different sides? And that's what we want to talk about next, okay? And there is a name, for example, if we wanted to talk about angle A and angle C. Okay, I've marked both those. Angle A and angle C are called vertically opposite angles. They are vertically opposite angles. And of course, if A and C are vertically opposite angles, could you find another pair that you think are also vertically opposite angles? I hope you do have an answer. I hope you said that B would be vertically opposite from D. They're also. It's very easy to spot vertically opposite angles because just like adjacent angles, they do share a vertex, but the vertically opposite angles actually have the rays going the opposite way, so they're across the vertex from one another. These are very, very important. There's something I want us to notice about vertically opposite angles, and we'll prove why it's true later. But let me go ahead and draw another pair of lines that have a little bit steeper of an angle so we can see something about the vertically opposite angles. And what you notice about this one, let me call these E, F, G, and H. And what we notice is that E and G are both acute angles and they're vertically opposite of one another. And we notice at the same time that H and F are vertically opposite of each other, and they're both obtuse angles. And so the rule we're going to learn for this that's really important is that when two lines intersect, they always form two pairs of vertically opposite angles. And here's the big rule. Vertically opposite angles are equal. So, for example, if I said that angle E was 40 degrees, then angle G would also measure 40 degrees. And if I told you that angle H was 140 degrees, then angle F would also have to be 140 degrees. Vertically opposite angles always have the same measure. And we're going to come back in the next video and talk about angles at a point, and we'll understand why that's the case when we get there.